Hello, everybody, and today I just wanted to talk about a distinction between two types of stock, and I think this is becoming more and more relevant to focus on this right now as we are headed towards a recession. So the whole idea is stocks historically, SaaS stocks historically started with seat-based charges. For example, um, Salesforce, for example, was all about how many users are using the product, and you charge on a per user basis, right? Microsoft still has plenty of products that are also charged on a per user basis. But over the past, say, 5 years, there's been a trend in SaaS companies to not charge per users, but to charge by usage, by how much the product is being used. And you can use whatever unit of traffic, data processing, compute, whatever unit you want to use to measure the usage. But that's called usage-based SaaS. And the main difference between usage-based SaaS um, and seat-based SaaS is that usage-based SaaS does not depend uh, on on um, does not depend on how many employees use the product. It only depends on how much the product is used, right? So how many requests are you using the software for? How many queries? How many connections? How much, in the case of Snowflake, how much data are you loading onto the cloud, or how much data are you analyzing in terms of Datadog? How much throughput is going through Datadog as you analyze your infrastructure? They charge you for throughput. Same from Cloudflare, same from MongoDB, which I haven't presented yet on the channel, but I really like MongoDB. So these are based on usage, not on how many people use the product, how many seats. And Crowdstrike, Zscaler, SentinelOne, ServiceNow, it's about how many user devices are out there and have the software installed, right? CrowdStrike, you have the software installed on your device. And the fewer employees there are, the fewer devices there are, and the less money CrowdStrike makes. And Zoom is kind of the same way. So Zoom is also usage based, but it's human usage. So if you have fewer employees, there's going to be less meetings and less Zoom meetings, and thus it's not going to help either. That's why I put it as a special case, but it's closer to a seat-based SaaS than a usage-based SaaS, in my opinion, because it's all about using human capital and human labor. And why is it important to bring this up right now? Well, this has been a trend for a long time and a question for a long time in the world of software as a service stocks. But right now it's become more important because obviously we are in the layoff wave of the recession, right? So earnings are coming down across the board, and so what does a market want firms to do? They want firms to do layoffs, and so you have a lot of layoffs happening, which means that you have less seats within companies, right? Less computers installed with CrowdStrike or Zscaler, to make it very simple. And that could be a problem in the short run for these companies, but these companies are still growing very fast, and they are, for example, for Crowdstrike and Zscaler and SentinelOne, they are in the field of security, of cybersecurity. So they're still growing fast, but there's no doubt that they're more at risk of losing seats than these other companies, and it all depends on how many layoffs there are going to be, and how many people are going to be using those end products. But hopefully they have a growth rate big enough to be able to overcome some of that hurdle that we see with the layoffs right now. And as a broader trend, this is the last thing I'd like to say, is ask this question: who is the end user? Like, who uses the SaaS software? Well, increasingly, the end user of SaaS software is becoming other software. And if the end user of SaaS software is becoming other software, then it makes sense for companies to slowly be moving away from a human-driven model to a software-driven model, which is the big trend in business right now. And so that's it. This is just a small update on some of the SaaS stocks that I've covered and how I think about usage-based versus seat-based. And again, usage-based, in my opinion, Snowflake, Datadog, probably much better for the future as far as human capital goes and the need of human capital and seat-based charges. And by the way, and I think I'll conclude with this: many historical seat-based company are working on their business model to try to become more usage-based and include more usage base in their business model. But that's part of these grander macro shifts that we see in tech right now. So none of this has been investment advice, never investment advice, just entertainment. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate if you can like and subscribe to my channel and like my video, and follow me on Twitter at @BitVanInMyDor if you can. I also appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a great day.